I think we can start.
Oh, but he's coming.
Who's coming?
But just.
Oh, Parth is not here. No.
He's coming. He's
Okay.
coming. He's fine. It's fine.
Om Sadashiva Samarampam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparaam. Om Sahana
Bhavatu Sahana Bhanaktu Sahaviryam Tasya Ajitavasvaya Shahi Shanti
Shanti. Namaste and welcome to this retreat on Kashi Panchakam. Panchakam, a quintet, a group of 5 verses, is called Panchakam. This is connected to Kashi. What is Kashi? Varanasi. The holy city of Varanasi is also called Kashi. Earlier it was a kingdom and Varanasi was the capital, and later on when all the kingdoms got dismantled, it is called as Nagari, the city of Kashi. Now, Kashi is famous for 2 things. Every place in India is famous for different things. Surat in Gujarat is famous for food. Yeah. So, Surat you have to go to eat, they say. If you go anywhere else, it is not, you haven't eaten at all. And then Kashi, you go for 2 things. One is you go to wash off your papa. Papa means what? All kinds of omissions and commissions done in this and other lives. And these omissions and commissions, needless to say, are what? Infinite. We thought Brahman is infinite. But these omissions and commissions come quite close. So, because the belief is, if you've had one life as a human being, then you have endless numbers of karma. And all these karmas are there in one's account. Then time to time they bother. Time to time they prick. Time to time they turn the person upside down. And so therefore, Kashi is associated with Ganga. We don't even call it a river. She is knowledge and she is Pavani, the purifier. And so Kashi is associated with that, and Ganga apparently washes off all the papas. One dip in the Ganga, all the papas are washed off. This is the first thing that Kashi is famous for. Yatra tatra kritam papam kashyam vinashyati. So it is not that you should have done the papa in Kashi and then you atone for it in Kashi and then get rid of it in Kashi. No. Yatra tatra kritam papa. Wherever the papa has been done, where it resolves where? If you go to Kashi. Even just going to Kashi is so powerful, considered to be very, very powerful. There itself it resolves. What to talk of if you take a dip in the Ganga. This is the first thing that Kashi is extremely well known for. The second thing that Kashi is known for is, is the is the belief that if one dies in Kashi, then one will get moksha. One will get moksha means what? One will not be born again. People die to die in Kashi. So people move there and stay there for 25 years. Why God has not yet come for me? I don't know. I have been here for 25 years. Says the grandma. Why God has not come for me? I've been here for such a long time. That's why I made this my permanent home so that I will die here. Bhagavan has other plans. The family calls, come for a holiday. Your great grandchild has been born. Let us do Kanakabhishekam. They bathe the 4 generations in water with gold pieces. Very nice. And so come. And so saying, no longer grandma, who is this great grandma, goes. And then doesn't come back to Kashi. This is how it happens. So Kashi is known for some belief that if somebody gives up their life there, moksha is there. This is just a belief. Why that belief is there, we'll see. And in the Hindu tradition, these two things are Kashi is famous for, I've told you this. And in the Hindu tradition, there is a very nice alignment between karma, actions, and then the emotion because of which the action takes place, i.e., Shraddha, Bhakti, and then finally the reason behind why I'm doing these actions. What is that? Jnanam. So the knowledge behind the rituals and the actions and behind the devotion and the Shraddha are all very much there, forming a very well knit body of knowledge. Unlike the philosophies in the West, where the philosophers have nothing to do with the devotion, philosophers have nothing to do with whatever karma is there in the churches going on, they have nothing, they're completely divorced from that. In fact, they will write a book critiquing that, like Bertrand Russell. Why I love Christ, but do not care for, what did he call it? Churchianity. Not Christianity, Churchianity. And certain other philosophers also completely condemn any kind of a connection between the belief systems, and the belief system includes Shraddha, because people have Shraddha, that's why they believe. Shraddha is nothing other than Bhakti. So between the belief system imbued with Bhakti and Shraddha and the actions through which this devotion is communicated and the philosophy, there is not much of an alignment. This is not the case in our tradition. In our tradition, it is very, very, very well knit. The first portion of the Veda is a place to get what? Maturity. How is this maturity gained? This emotional maturity, how is it gained? Do I have to sit and wait for it? No, I can accelerate this maturity, emotional maturity, by my actions. Very strategic actions, actions that are specific. This is what helps me, and specific actions specifically done. This is what enhances and accelerates my emotional maturity. So when I read the first part of the Veda, it shows me how to gain this emotional maturity and how to use my actions to gain this emotional maturity. Basically, Karma Yoga. Transform my actions into into acts of worship, number one. So basically, there is no Karma Yoga without Ishvara. Ishvara is central to Karma Yoga. Transform my actions into acts of worship, prayerful acts. Then, instead of focusing on the results of knowledge, results of action, I dedicate the results of action and use them as dedicated back to Bhagavan and use that collateral as what? For my own emotional maturity. Then whatever comes as a result of my actions, I learn to take it. I learn to take it, and then I learn to take it with devotion. I learn to take it with devotion because there is something about this that helps me grow, and also it's based on a fact. My acceptance is based on a fact that I cannot control all the variables, hidden variables, invisible variables, visible variables, all of them I cannot control. Whatever I can control, I have controlled, and then the rest of it, the karma phala, is out of my control. I am not the producer of karma phala. All this we get through what? Through the study of the first portion of the Veda, where my desires and my wants are put on a leash. They're not tied up, locked up, like the cat. But they're not locked up. They are on a leash. They're allowed to go, and then they are, but there's only this much they can go. They can only go here and not there. They are under training. Desires themselves are Bhagavan. Desires are not controlled, but we learn to manage them again because we want to grow emotionally. What will he do if he's here?
You can try.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah, interesting. Poor thing, himsa. So then we have, so this is Karma Yoga in all its glory. And the first, what is that? The first portion of the Veda trains me to use my desire in order to grow, trains me to discipline my desires in order to grow. Why all this growth and all? And that growth is needed for assimilating the second portion of the Veda, which is a body of knowledge, which talks about the truth of myself as free of sorrow, fear, afflictions. In other words, free of samsara. So in order to gain that knowledge, which is the philosophy of the dharma, karma and devotionalizing the karma is very, very, very important. So karma and devotion become very important precursors to gaining this knowledge. So everything is very, very beautifully and tightly brought together. So nothing is wasted. Karma is not wasted. Bhakti is not wasted. And neither is it wasted nor is it disconnected. And so, therefore, we have to see this, that this interconnection, this tight interconnection between action, karma, and then bhakti, making karma into devotional act. All my actions, may they become devotional. That is where bhakti comes in. And then all for the sake of emotional maturity, which is for the sake of gaining Atmajnanam. This is the very, very tight connection. This Atmajnanam means I am a free person. I am not subject to time. I am not subject to sorrow. This is the ultimate goal, the last final say about the self for people who don't know what it is. And that is everybody. Nobody knows what the self is. Everybody has some kind of an idea, but nobody really knows what is this self, how to understand this self. Nobody knows. And that's why we need this philosophy, we need the body of knowledge. And then here, in this context, a little more detail about what this, what one of the actions, religious actions in India is called Tirtha Yatra. Tirtha has two meanings. Tirtham, mostly neuter, sometimes it's also there in masculine form. Tirtham, Tirtha Yatra. Tirtha is a place of worship. Tirtha is also by another derivation. Tirtha means path. A path is also called Tirtha, Marga. The way is the Tirtha, the destination is also what? Tirtha. So this Tirtha becomes very important because especially in the ancient days, we did not have a concept of holiday. This going to holiday and going somewhere and then fighting with the family members and then coming back more stressed because of the what is that called? Because of the traffic and the rush and everything, as will happen after this. What is this holiday called? Memorial Day. So this kind of a thing was not there at all. We don't have the concept of holiday ever. We never used to take holidays. This is a colonial construct, and I'll tell you why also, especially with reference to India. So holiday means what? You either go to see your relatives, again you remain at home, you don't really go anywhere, or you go to Tirtha Yatra, you go to a pilgrimage. And all the important places of worship are near a body of water. Suchindram, which is near the coast. Suchindram is a beautiful temple of Murugan. Very nice, beautiful temple is there. Or it could be on a hill. Or it could be in some kind of a forest, Vana Durga, like this. So it's in the forest or on a hill or near bodies of water, lakes, rivers, ocean, etc. And what are the famous holiday sites? Lakes, rivers, oceans, forests, hills, mountains. So in a way, the Tirtha Yatra itself was a holiday. It was very nice, and it was a paid holiday in ancient times, because we had this system called chaul trees. Buildings were made by some rich Samaritans, good Samaritans, and you go there, you bring your sleeping bag, Indian sleeping bag, two bed sheets, that's all. One to put down and one slightly thicker one to put down, another one to wrap. And then you get up in the morning and then go have your darshan, come back, you eat there at the temple itself. Food is given every day. You come back, have your dinner. Somebody has already sponsored the dinner. Simple thing. It's not going to be, gourmet. It's going to be a simple dinner. And then, oh, how much does it cost? Nothing. It has already been paid for you. And when you go, whatever you want, you can leave. as a donation. This was very, very beautiful. That system, I think, if we try hard, we can still go all over India without paying a penny and just leaving a donation. So then, when you go to the temple, you are, of course, in a beautiful nature, surrounded by the best of nature, and the mind becomes tranquil and calm. You see Bhagavan inside the sanctum, you see Bhagavan everywhere, giving rise to a certain oneness. And this, and then of course, you're not sitting there in the temple staring at Bhagavan the whole time. You come outside, you take a hike, you go splash around in the water, you do other things as well. And then that was your holiday. This is a culture with zero distinction between the sacred and the acts and secular acts. Zero distinction. Everything is a sacred act. There's nothing that is Laukika and Vaidika. There's no distinction. Everything is a sacred act. Starting with brushing teeth onwards is a sacred act. And so therefore, this is how a lot of people in the older generations grew up. But this idea of holiday, I think it's a colonial construct where all these countries were colonized, especially in Asia, India, and so many places, was what? Always hot. And how are they going to rule when it is so hot? Poor things, they come from temperate climates. They see, in England, you see the sun a few times a year, that's all. Yeah. Om Mitraya Namaha. You have Surya Darshan. Yeah, 3-4 times a year, always cloudy, like today, always foggy, always cloudy. And so there, from that temperate climate, they came to this hot, this thing, and they just got very cross. They didn't know what to do. So then they would go to these places up in the mountains somewhere and then build some homes like for them so that they could get away from it all, and then they could rule from there with a cool head. Literally, they could rule from there, and they would just come back only for any kind, to take care of any kind of emergencies, etc., etc. Those came to be known as hill stations. Now the British left India when 1947. They were given the pink slip. They left, and then after that, these wonderful homes of mayors and collectors and all these things just sitting there. Now many of them are converted into hotels. Yeah, maybe even Airbnb. I don't know. So. And that's how I think we also got the idea of taking holidays. Before there was no understanding of the concept of holiday was not there at all. Why? Because we have karma yoga. Karma yoga is a lifelong holiday because I'm not stressed about how I'm doing my job because I'm not interested in the results of action. So I'm busy doing whatever I need to, but then there is not this separation between working and leisure. Not this separation is not there. And then, so therefore, this concept of tirtha is important to imbibe because the whole Panchakam is based on this concept alone. What is this? There is a kind of a pun on this tirtha, etc., and we'll be seeing that. And so this Tirtha Yatra, what does it do? Especially to a very holy place like Kashi, it takes away all my papas. Harati papan. All the papas, it takes away. And there are many such things like this. There is one, I forgot his name. He composed 1001 verses of praise to Ganga. Very beautiful, as an act of atonement. Because he lived in the 17th century. He was born into a very orthodox Brahmana family. And then what did he do? He grew up, he studied in the Gurukula, etc., etc., fell in love with a Muslim lady and married her. Was immediately thrown out because this was not done in those days. This was not thought about like this. This was not an option. And he was thrown out of he was ostracized, thrown out, and nobody talked to him, nobody did this. And wherever if you thought that he could leave the village and go somewhere else, his reputation preceded him, his notoriety preceded him, and he was completely isolated. So, as an atonement, because he thought he had done something very, very wrong, and as an atonement, he sat at the banks of the Ganga and composed one verse every day. And when his 1,000th verse says, may the next verse bring in a deluge and take me also. And that people say that's exactly what happened. He refused to move, and then he was taken when that big deluge came, like a flash flood of the Ganga came. So the Ganga is something very, very special. Adi Shankara himself regarded her as that. And then when asked one time, what is the holiest river in India? What was his answer? Yamuna. He didn't say Ganga. He said Yamuna. How come? There is Ganga. You are saying Yamuna. Who said Ganga is a river? Ganga is our mother. Ganga is the Ganga of knowledge. So she is the flow of eternal knowledge. And there's something about that water. Now, of course, we have had to have, unfortunately, because we have tried and tested her patients also, we've had to have clean up Ganga action committee. We still have that, so many things, because people just shove half burnt dead bodies, and in industrial cities like Kanpur, etc., where she flows, there's the effluents of what are they called, factories is there. And then it's very funny because if you take the sample of the Ganga in near those areas, then it will come out really, really unclean, dirty water, contaminated water. But then you go 100 kilometers away from Kanpur, again she is what? Totally clean. And that is why the association with washing off the impurities. The impurities are washed off because she has some kind of a self-clean mechanism. And in every Hindu household, we used to buy this brass pot of Ganga which was already sealed. And even though it was kept in a puja room, it was to be given to a person who was passing away at the time of departure. And if you broke open that little pot of Ganga water, even after 50 years, it would be completely unspoiled. So these qualities of this river and the stories and association from a long time ago make this Ganga very special and make the city of Kashi also extremely special. Varanasi, Kashi, and so here the author, some Shankaracharya, not Adi Shankara, but of course it is attributed to who? Adi Shankara. It's attributed to Adi Shankara because that as a mark of respect, everybody did not write their own name. They said this is where the knowledge is coming, and they attributed it to Adi Shankara. So here the author has a pun on the word Kashi. The word Kashi is formed by the root verb chakasra deeptau in the sense of lighting up. Kash, to light up. That's why we have the word prakash, to light up. Kashate iti kashi. Kashi means Kashi means the one who has this shine is called Kashi. Kashi has this shine. Who else has this shine? Atma has this shine. So there is a pun between Kashi and Atma. So Atma and Kashi, there's a nice pun going on. And then the author proceeds to liken Kashi, that Kashi to this Kashi, the outer Kashi to inner Kashi, and look at the similarities. But then, before we get into the text, one more thing we have to look into and understand, which is the fact that going to various places, Tirtha Yatra, useful, all right. But then, whatever it brings in terms of a peace of mind, in terms of some tranquility, whatever it brings is again what? Short-lived and finite. As long as I'm in Kashi, I don't get angry. And then as soon as I leave Kashi, what happens? Frustration, anger, everything comes. So this goes to show that even in the ancient time, as well as now in the contemporary times, we have what is called wanderlust. Have to go there, have to see this, have to do that. If I don't do this, my life is not worthwhile. No, but you're 89 years old. Yes, that's why I have made a list. What is the list? Bucket list. Before I kick the bucket, there is a list. I have made this list. I have to do this, that, and all. I tell you, no Hindu should make a bucket list. Why? We have plenty of lifetimes. Yes. And even at the time of departure from this body, in the funerary rites, they say, may you have a better life next time. Each person says, I was not a very good spouse to you. May you have the kind of spouse you want next time. May you have the kind of children you desire next time. So no need for Hindus to make a bucket list. Because that list is already there. It will travel for free. Why list? A whole book is there of desires, and that book will travel free in the Sukshma Sharira and then go to the next place. So now this wanderlust keeps us hooked to pravritti. What is pravritti? Going towards pravritti. This wanderlust. I have to go there, I have to go here. Somehow something happens. One cannot stay in the same place at the same time. And then after a little while, I think I need to change my job. Why? No, because somehow I feel I have explored the whole city. Okay, no need to explore. Sit and do your job. No, I think it'll be nice. Are you getting a promotion? No. Then why do you want to do that? Just like that. There is a certain kind of a wanderlust, and the wanderlust is an ancient desire. Even our Purvajas, our ancestors also had it, as can be seen from this concept of Tirtha Yatra. And this wanderlust makes one be revolving in the arena that is called pravritti. Going from one thing to another, blogging about your Tirtha Yatra. I went here, I went there. I found a new hack to avoid the crowds. I did this, I did that. For a small fee, I will share the hack. All these things, I think that the wanderlust is a very up and front, in the face kind of a desire that is not recognized, that is often taken for granted, that this is how it is, this is how I am, this is who I am, this is what I need to do. Sad but true. And the wanderlust means the desire for various experiences in various places. The wanderlust also includes fancies for time travel. Oh, how nice it would be it would be to go to the Victorian age. Why you want to go to the Victorian age? You're fond of the plague or what? No. Why you want to go them and scare them? Because you're not going to blend in, okay? Yeah. No, I want to experience. We just read a novel. Yeah. How did the people in the Victorian age live? See a documentary, read a novel, read Jane Austen, read anything. You know, you some way something you'll find out what it was like. Jane Austen is not from the Victorian age, but nonetheless, you read something appropriate from that age, and you will understand. No, I have this thing. Maybe we can time travel. Maybe we can go back in time. Maybe we can do this. Maybe we can do that. I know why I want to time travel. I want to go back and catch the atom bomb that was falling on Nagasaki. Yeah, Hiroshima. If I go quickly and then go just few minutes before that, when people were, I can convince the people not to drop the bombs. I mean, these are all some kind of a megalomania, okay? Yeah, these are all delusions of grandeur, total delusions, but they exist. All desire for travel, including time travel, is connected to this wanderlust. Could be connected to this wanderlust. It has to be these kinds of desires. Therefore, for a student of Vedanta, have to be examined and have to be resolved. Otherwise, one will be keeping on going here, going there, and even calling it under the cloak of Tirtha Yatra, still avoiding oneself. Avoiding oneself. So, nivritti to all the problems and fears and everything that I'm not addressing, and pravritti towards new experiences and wanting to forget myself. This is the course of action for this whole pilgrimage. The entire pilgrimage is based on this questioning this wanderlust. This entire Kashipanchakam is based on, the premise of it is based on questioning the wanderlust. And if you question the wanderlust, what happens? Then you see that there are glaring ways in which you have, one has covered up the desire and has sanctified it by saying, oh, what's wrong in going to a place of worship? Pujya Swamiji, whenever he was asked, he was in Rishikesh for so many years. Whenever he was asked that, have you gone to Kedarnath? In those, now you can go by helicopter. In those days, you had to sit on a donkey. Okay. Yeah. You sit on a donkey, and that it was not easy to go. And it goes like this, upward spiral. And then the donkey would hug the side of the mountain because it was afraid. It also was afraid of falling. And so as a result, it was permanently like that, even when it was on steady ground. It was permanently like that. And whoever sat on the donkey would felt like they were going to fall off on this side. It was going to do that. So it was not very easy to go there, either by donkey or by walking, inclement weather and what are those called? Landslides, and many things became very dangerous. People, did that stop the people from going? No, it became a challenge like Mount Everest. Yeah. For the faint of heart, Kedarnath, not Mount Everest. And so, Pujya Swamiji would be asked, Maharaj Ji, have you gone to Kedarnath? Have you gone here? Have you gone there? And he would simply laugh and respond, my Shani Mahadasha has not yet arrived. Because that's when I suppose, if one doesn't watch out, the wanderlust increases. There's a restlessness that increases. So the idea is to convert this restlessness into being at rest with oneself. And when I am at rest with myself, when I am at home with myself, then I don't need to go anywhere. If I go, I go. That's a different thing, but I don't have to go. And there is a very beautiful Brihadaranyaka Vakya that illustrates this point, especially in the light of Vedanta Shastra. And that goes like this. Atmanam ched vijaniyat ayamasmi iti purushah tat kimartham kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvaret. Atmanam vijaniyat means if one knows the Atma, but there is a very big if there. Ched. Why ched? Because somebody could drop the pursuit. Somebody could not do the pursuit at all. Somebody could drop it halfway. Somebody, even after listening for a long time, doesn't know what is what. So many possibilities are there. So therefore, it's a big if. If one gains this Atma, when one gains this Atma, and what is the vision? I am Asmi. This Atma, I am. This Brahman, I am. Before it was Brahma Asti. Kinchit Brahma Asti, something called Brahman exists. That something exists has to be converted into this is me. The existence of this is my existence. This conversion has to take place. And so Brahma Asti becomes Brahma Asmi. Atmanam ched vijaniyat ayam asmi iti purushah. This is aham asmi. I am this Atma when I know. Tatah, then, kimartham, for what purpose, and to fulfill which desire, kasya kamaya, shariram anusanjvaret. Jvara means fever. Jvaret, cause the body to have fever. Shariram jvaret. Anusanjvaret means in accordance to whatever laws there are there. And what are the laws? Stress causes fever, that's one law. And for any kind of frenetic activity can cause fever, another law. And fever here means feverish activity. Shariram anusanjvaret. The body is on a trip. It's on a feverish activity. Why I have to do anusanjvaranam? Why do I have to follow this path of frenetic and ceaseless activity, especially if one knows the Atma as the truth of everything? There is no reason for activity, including wanderlust, including the desire to go here, there, or everywhere. Objection. What is the objection? What do you mean? That there is no, that there are no desires left. That's true. If there are no desires left, how will social progress take place? Everybody sits and has moksha. Who will deliver the paper? Who will deliver the milk? An enlightened milkmaid. An enlightened paperman. Yeah, that's what. This we don't understand. We have a strange romanticization. We have kind of a spiritual romanticism. And what is that spiritual romanticism? It's a condition in which I think that I have some kind of a vague and a funny concept of moksha. Moksha means what? The person just sits, is the most boring person on the earth. First of all, after having moksha, doesn't laugh, doesn't talk, doesn't smile. Just is like this. When did you come? Yesterday. Where did you go? When are you going to go? Tomorrow. Why are you like this with the face? I have moksha. We have this vague idea. Not only are they entirely humorless people, humorless set of fellows, but also that they don't have any fun and that they're just going to sit in one place morning, noon, and night. And sometimes they'll do intermittent fasting and sometimes they'll do intermittent meditation. That's all they'll be doing. And this is some kind of a vague idea that, oh, they will not do anything at all. Moksha means falling off a cliff. Yeah. So there is no other thing, no action happening. And who will take care of this world? And as though you were taking care of the world before you had moksha. So don't give me that. This is an objection. This is just an objection because it is coming out of a sense of non-understanding. It's an objection coming from the place of non-understanding. What we are saying is that there is no taboo or prohibition for the person of moksha to be doing things. We are not saying that you should just not do action at all. What we are saying is that there is no addiction to action because the wants are not there. Why the wants are not there? I am everything. Iti sarvatma bhava is there. I know I am everything. I am fully present and I am everything. I am the source of everything. And so I don't need to go here or go there or do this or do that to fulfill some long-standing desires, including the desire to go to Kashi. Why? Because the true Kashi is within. This Kashi is the inspiration for the naming of that town as what? Kashi. So nobody says you shouldn't do anything. What should you do? What people say is it's not that you shouldn't do anything. You can do whatever you are doing, but you don't have to do anything. There's a big difference. Pujya Swamiji did so many things. He was never in one place. He was always working for the welfare of humanity and of animals and everything. So so moksha has a different look, depends on who has it. Because the one who has moksha also has a bit of prarabdha left, and depending on their prarabdha, they will either stay in one place or roam around. So therefore, this whole idea that once everybody has moksha, first of all, don't worry, everybody will not have moksha, okay? Yeah. Who will do this, who will do that? Don't worry about that at all. And everybody will not have moksha because that's not how the setup is. So therefore, if this much is understood, then we can enter the text. Let us take a look. Manonivrittis paramopasantihi sa tirthavarya manikarnika cha Jnana-pravaha vimaladi-ganga Sakashikaham nija-bodha-rupa Together. मनो निवृत्तिः परमोपशान्तिः सा तीर्थवर्या मणिकर्णिका च ज्ञानप्रवाहा विमलादिगङ्गा सा काशिकामं निजबोधरूपा. So, all this time, what have I been doing? Pravritti, 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 pravritti. Reaching out, not to help others, help myself. Yeah. Pahyam, for me, everything is pravritti, pravritti, pravritti. Pravritti has got a finger in every pie. Pravritti has a lot of irons in the fire. I have to get everything. There are many things to gain. There are many things after gaining I have to lock up and take care of. Otherwise, somebody will take it away. You will take it away if I don't do this. So, pravritti, 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 pravritti. This is where it is the whole time pravritti. And we don't know how to withdraw. We really don't know how to withdraw. We really don't know what to do. And so, in Kali Yuga especially, we are a bunch of distracted beings, constantly distracted. And if there is nothing to distract for 2 minutes, we ourselves will create a distraction so that we can keep being occupied in nonsensical pursuits when 24/7, 365. It is no wonder that the goddess of sleep was very disturbed after seeing these human beings. The goddess of sleep went and complained to Lord Krishna. Where is my place? These human beings are crazy. Even at night, they are doom scrolling on their devices in the dark. They don't go to sleep. They're always worried. They're always awake. And Lord Krishna said, yes, goddess, you have a point. You definitely have a point. Where is my place? Where should I stay? He felt very bad for her. He said, wherever there is Harikatha, wherever Vedanta is taught, yeah, you can have full reign, O goddess. That's why the best of sleep comes in Bhagavatam and Vedanta lectures. Okay? Yeah. Bhagavan's gift, Bhagavati's gift. So, this restlessness has made the person only know what is pravritti. The mind is scattered into so many pieces, and all it wants is one piece, PEAC. It's tired of running around. And so, on an auspicious note, the text starts with Mano Nivritti. Nivritti here means withdrawal. Withdrawal of the mind from its getting stuck on the objects of delight for the sense organs and from its penchant for trying to run away from difficult situations. Withdrawal from all that. Withdrawal from the analysis, withdrawal from self-talk, withdrawal from gossip, withdrawal from unnecessary talk, withdrawal from greed, withdrawal from hoarding, parigraha, all these things in Yoga Sutras we learn. Withdrawal from constant engagement is Mano Nivrittihi. Mano Nivrittihi means withdrawal of the mind. Manasaha Nivrittihi, Mano Nivrittihi. And then what is Mano Nivritti? The cause of Shanti. Paramopa Shanti. Shanti you have every day. When sleep goddess visits. Yeah. She brings in the present of called Shanti. Everything is fine. You have Shanti from other people you don't like. Other people who don't like you also have Shanti from you. But then as soon as you wake up, what happens? Ashanti wakes up first and then wakes you up. Hey! It's not a holiday. Get up. You have to go to work. Get up. Do this, do that. Ashanti means what? Restlessness. Wakes you up. Creates a big tamasha. How do you say tamasha in English? Drama. Mischief. Yeah. A mischief-filled drama. Creates a big ruckus and says, hey, wake up. Even before you, all the things you have to do have woken up and they're demanding your attention. So that means what? Every day you have Shanti. But what kind is that enough? No. Sleep is never enough. That's why nobody wants to get up. But after getting up also, there is no Shanti because I am constantly engaged with duality. Dvaita, 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 Dvaita. Here Advaita, there Advaita, everywhere Dvaita, Dvaita. Old Mac Jiva. Yes. Everywhere there is Dvaita. How can there be Shanti? Shanti is the opposite of Bhaya, fear. Dvaitadhi bhayam bhavati. We have seen this sentence in the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So, the cause of fear is duality and the cause of Shanti is what? Non-duality. So, therefore, Manonivrittihi, the withdrawal, the conscious withdrawal of the mind into itself from everything that is an object into itself, its own content, its own truth, which is Satchidanandam Brahma. We'll see that in detail. So that itself is Shanti. What kind of Shanti? Parama Shanti. And Upashanti. Upa here means very close, intimately understood. Upasamipe. Upashanti. Upashanti also means that the restlessness is not coming back because I have changed the lifestyle that was contributing to the restlessness. So this restlessness will not come back. Why will it not come back? Because I have changed the whole premise as a result of this teaching. And so Manonivritti, Parama Shanti, Upashanti. Upashanti, we have in India, the fire stations are called Agni Upashaman Kendra. Fires, it's called fire station, but the word Upashama is there. Upashama means once we are through, the fire is not going to come back. That is the idea here. So Upa, one meaning is Samipe, another meaning is final. The Shanti is a final Shanti. It will not go away. So it's a knowledge-born Shanti. It's a cognitive Shanti. It's the Shanti of Atma Jnanam. And when that comes, there is nothing for it to go away. There is nowhere for it to go. Why? Because it is your own Swarupa. It's nothing else other than your own Swarupa. So there is absolutely nowhere for it to go. And so therefore, and how do you get this? By visiting the most exalted of the Tirthas. Tirthas means what? Holy places and places of, what is that called? Pilgrimage. Sa Tirthavarya. Tirthavarya means of all the Tirthas, she is the bestest Tirtha. She means what? This Manasaha, this Kashi. This Kashi, visiting this Kashi is the best Tirtha. And what is the bus I take or the train or the plane? How do I get there? Go there on the train called Manonivrittihi, the conscious and the deliberate withdrawal of the mind. How, why, etc. We'll see tomorrow, same time, 7:30. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Any questions are there? We haven't even gone through one verse. So there might be some, if there are any clarificatory questions, we can look at them. Yes?
Not a question, Swamini, just a observation kind of thing. You were talking about wanderlust, how there is this extrovertedness just going out.
Yes.
Interestingly, like a jnani is Parivrajacharya. He moves around, but there is no attachment to anything.
Correct.
So it's
They
interesting
move.
how
Please unmute yourself. There is something wrong with our some network or something. Yeah, you can write the question in the chat pod. Don't unmute yourself. Yeah. So yeah, go continue.
So I was just it's the jnanam that kind of differentiates between the
Yes.
two.
Yes.
For
So you could do the same thing if you're a jnani or an ajnani. Could do the same thing, but the intention behind it is very different, and the result is very different.
the attitude.
Yeah, the intention. See, the Parivrajaka lifestyle is not to burden the householders. So the Parivrajaka means always moving around. So 3 days, not more than 3 days in one this thing, and then even the Shastra is very generous. Says you can beg from 5 houses per day. That's a lot of food. Yeah. Think about it. 5 houses, and each house will be very generous, and they will make everything for this person, and it's just amazing. So you can beg up to 5 houses, and then wherever in any town you stay, with anybody you stay, not more than 3 nights. So that nobody is burdened. Unless, of course, the other vritti is there. Parivrajaka vritti, Madhukari vritti, and the other one is Ajagari vritti. So it depends on the jnani's prarabdha. So then the moving is for helping not himself, or herself, but everybody else.
Loka Sangraha.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Community. So we're talking about frantic activity. Is that like the frantic activity that we have to do every day? Go to work and take care of this, take care of
Sure.
that?
That's all compulsion.
Compulsion.
Until the work is converted into completely yoga, means it is converted into prayer. First, whatever you have to do is converted into discrete acts of prayer. Then after that, a little more viveka comes, vairagya comes. With that, you become a prayerful person. So that whatever you do has the attitude of prayerfulness. That's the transformation.
Thank you.
Then you may go to 100 places. The body may be very tired. The mind may also be very tired. You just go to sleep. That's all. Or the body may be sick. You have to give it medicine. That's all it is. You don't get involved even in one's own body. That's what. Kimartham kasya kamaya shariram anusanjvaret. Why will I follow these feverish, frenetic activities of the body when I know I am not this? I'm not this assemblage.
So one is not impelled into action.
Yeah, there is no compulsion. There is no impelling of anything. But at will, one is able to withdraw. We'll see that more tomorrow. What that withdrawal means and how to execute that withdrawal. In fact, that has been the whole theme of this whole visit, I think. All the talks have kind of touched on that.
I have a question.
Sure.
Swamiji, and it relates actually to this from the talk on Tuesday. You were talking about unrequited expectations from people and
Yes.
changing house and spouse and job. And
Right.
And it's sort of, I think that relates to this wanderlust as
Yes.
well as place.
Yes.
But what I was thinking about that, you were talking about, and I really love the visualization of parents, for example, and those are folks that we are sort of, we have from the beginning, we don't have choice, right? But all the other people that we meet on the path,
Yeah.
we have some free will. Do I want to work with this person or do I not want to work with this person? And I was just curious because I have having the feeling that I think many of us have, where you meet someone and you either feel like, oh, this person does feel like aligned with me, like they are the same as me, which they are, or the opposite, we have some dis-ease. Is that karma? And what do we sort of do with as we are choosing people that we want to interact with?
We only think we are choosing people. Yeah. So it's like there is some way in which our past actions and where we used our free will has already helped in choosing this, because there are certain karmas to eke out. So we think it's accidental. Oh, how come we match in every single way? How come we think alike? Let's become BFF, we think. Yeah. But that is not, there is a certain, you see, we are also co-creators because we have free will. So therefore, it is not just karmic. Some of it is karmic, some of it is free will. It's complicated.
So how do we apply the teachings in this kind of free will in terms of who we interact with?
You see, whoever is in my life is Bhagavan. That's all. Very easy. Ishvara is the whole universe. Starting with the people you don't care about. Okay. Anusanjvaret. Yeah, Jvara means fever. Jvaret means becoming feverish, may one have, having fever. Anusanjvaret means, you see, the body may have a certain restlessness because of the tamo guna, rajo guna, etc. But I am free of that. You see, we can learn from looking at the animals. The cat, the dog, all of them, they'll be sitting in one place. Suddenly something will happen. We don't know what has happened. They go like that, chasing their own tail. And then they'll sit down again, letting off some steam. We need to do things like that. So I'm not saying chase your own tail, because you don't have one. But see that this is something confined to the body. Don't let it leak into the mind and the senses and whatnot. Yeah. Localize it. Localize everything. That is the idea. I think that's all online.
This
Yes.
so this fever is referred to everywhere it's referred to is a part of this pravritti, Like in Bhagavad Gita also, he says Vigata Jwaraha. It's
Yeah,
the,
Vigata
the
Jwara.
same.
Correct, very good. Jwara, yes. Get over this samsara fever. Correct.